we underreacting to? What's, going below the radar that needs to be talked about across the NFL landscape? And I'm going to start with what is going on. And I never talk about the Rams. I really don't. I don't talk about them much on the show. But are they making the playoffs? They have caught fire. And listen, we all saw him go off against the Cardinals on Sunday in his return from IR. But our big underreaction with this Rams team is Kyren Williams. And I know that I spotlighted him Monday to kick off the week. I said, this is a guy that gets an attaboy for what he's doing. But now it's time to sort of take that, oh, shoot, is he going to be meaningful in this team's success? Is he going to run this team into the playoffs? For starters, the Rams went 1-3 without him while he was hurt. They were 3-1 now in the last 4 games where he's back and he's played. That is not a coincidence. Look at what he's done when he's been on the field. I'm very excited about this. Kyren's leading the league right now, 85.6 rushing yards per game. Only Christian McCaffrey's averaged more than Kyren's 109.3 yards a game this entire season. So he has scored 9 touchdowns. What? 9 touchdowns despite he's missed 4 games. Are we understanding the math here, people? The math is not mathing. That is the 4th best touchdown rate in the league this season as well. It's giving me Gurley. It's giving me Gurley vibes. The Gurley is Gurley. I'm not kidding. Nobody's done this in this offense since Todd Gurley. Kyren's numbers up against Todd Gurley's from his 2018 first-team All-Pro season. I'm saying stop. There we go. Let's take a look at those. Kyren is averaging 5 fewer yards per game than Gurley did that year while posting the exact same yards per touch and touchdown rate. I want to get those numbers right there. That's a 22 touchdown pace over the course of a full season. Who wants to argue that this isn't special stuff? Why are we not talking about this more? I feel like even a bouncing around red zone. I said this on Monday. You see Sean McVay running around the side. Watch Kyren run and what he is doing. Sean McVay and this offense is at its best when they're able to operate through the run game first. And he's emerging as an absolute stud, a star. And that's a huge deal for these Rams because they are trying to make a playoff push, and it's possible. If you go over and dabble over on the sports book, they're plus 225 to get into the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, if Kyren Williams is healthy, he can run them into the playoffs. It's going to be a Gurley-ish vibe. I'm not kidding. The numbers are crazy. I'm doubling down on Rams talk. I'm putting Kyren Williams in the show twice a week. Yes, he deserves it, and he's crushing it. Most rushing touchdowns at plus 1,900. Yeah, go dabble. Go dabble in the sportsbook vibes. We have a parlay with Gronk coming up. That's going to happen. I'm going to double dip again. Is it other than the Eagles? I mean, is it a boring slate that we're double dipping? But we are, and we're giving love where it's deserved because we are underreacting to Jake Elliott. And this came up sort of naturally on the show. Why don't we ever talk about how clutch he is? Don't get me wrong. Justin Tucker, goated, amazing. But I think sometimes his greatness does make us sort of say, he's the GOAT, and we ignore everybody else in the NFL. And it shouldn't be that way. This 59-yarder, were you worried about this, Marissa? Were you nervous about this? You weren't nervous at all? 59-yarder! He forces overtime against the Bills on Sunday, and it reminded me, he's so special, and especially at big moments throughout his career. And let's start with the literal big kicks, because that 59-yarder wasn't even the longest he's hit this season, let alone his career, and that kick actually pushed him into very rare air. He has the most makes from 58-plus yards without a miss in all of NFL history. I think I got that right. Let's put that into perspective, though, here. Take a look. Jake has gone 4 for 4 from that distance. Justin Tucker, goated. We love it. Sings opera. You don't know. He's 3 for 13 in his career. The big leg dude, Mr. Sebastian Janikowski, as my dad likes to call him, former first rounder, okay? A monster. He went 3 for 17 from 58-plus. Oh, we want to talk about the other guy, friend of the show, Adam Vinatieri, helped Gronk kick. That's a little slight against his reputation, too. But sorry, Gronk, we love you. He went 0 for 2 during his record-shattering 24-year run in the NFL. We saw this man go gray. We saw this. Jake Elliott's doing it. Beyond the big leg, let's not forget he went 3 for 3 in the Super Bowl win over the Pats. Again, sorry, Gronk, as a rookie. He's 5 for 5 in Super Bowls. In his career, there was no shot he wasn't making that 59-yarder. Are you kidding me? Of course he was going to force overtime. I didn't have to watch. That gives him the 3rd most makes ever. The most Super Bowl makes without a miss. A lot of alliteration there. He's also, guys, and we're going to keep going. We're just going to keep going on Jake Elliott. He's a perfect 15 for 15 on playoff field goals for his career. He's 8 for 8 on kicks to either tie or win games in the final 2 minutes. Listen, I know Vinatieri is Mr. Clutch, and Jake has a long way to go to reach that level, but he's in the rare air. And he's been doing this over the first 7 years in the league, and we can't overlook it, okay? It's another reason to trust the Eagles, by the way, in a big way, in every big game they play. What if it comes down to that this weekend? You think it might not? It might. It might. Let's see. All right, my last underreaction, the thing that we're not talking about enough. We got to go. I think this is the first time in Underreaction's history that we're doing an Unsolved Mystery style update here, because I talked about the huge differences in the defense for the Cleveland Browns, okay? At home versus on the road. Weeks and weeks and weeks. And I had a lot of like, what's the point of this? Who cares about these splits? Are you bored? What are you doing? Like, who cares? With the weather, you're going to talk about sloppiness. It's really only gotten more significant, guys, as time has passed on. We're headed into December, and check this out. The Browns have the best defense in the league at home. Asterisks, at home, allowing 10.2 points, 175 yards per game. That's as dominant as it gets. They're allowing, is that right? Nearly 3 more touchdowns per game on the road. What? Their sack rate's been cut in half as well. So we talked about it. I think they benefit. They're like really benefiting from gross conditions. Like Chandler Parsons would fare very well in this because it's windy, it's cold, it's sloppy, and it's just ugly in that stadium weather-wise. And I'm not trying to say they're not a good defense. They clearly are. I'm just saying how impenetrable, outside of Miles Garrett, of course, whatever, are they because of what these splits are. We saw it on Sunday, guys, right? With the Broncos. The Broncos ran up and down the field. They were just as physical. They outran them. They all did that. They do have a chance to sort of prove me wrong this week. They're going to LA to take on a very red-hot Rams team. They head to Houston to face C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year shoo-in a couple of weeks as well. If they're going to make it into the playoffs, like, let alone make noise when they get there. And they're built that way, right? Run the ball, bad conditions, cold, great defense. This is going to need to turn around big time because they're going to have to go do this stuff outside of their sloppy, messy, cold stadium.